I'm John from Schroeder Log Home Supply, and I'm here with Chris at his lovely log home on Pekagama. We're taking a look at the house and seeing if there's any questions he has, areas of concern, things that jump out to me, and some general technical tips. We're on the corner here, kind of facing the lake, and I think all I see here is good. A lot of times, the best way to protect your logs, protect your exterior wood of any kind, is to keep the water out of it, whether that's a waterproof coating, a stain or finish that keeps the water from getting into the wood, getting into the end grain. But the best thing is just in the design process from the get-go. And so long overhangs to keep the water away from the walls, and also to keep your bottom courses, at least 2 feet above the ground. So it's like, we're great here because water coming off the roof and splashing back, it's gonna be nowhere near the log. The overhangs are, decent. They could be longer, but what's great, you said you just got these gutters installed?
That's right, new gutters here, the downspout going under the yard, so.
Yeah, so whether, if you're in the design process, it's great to have long overhangs, it's great to have your bottom course of wood away from the ground, but even if that wasn't done initially, a gutter is a great way to at least try to mitigate those differences, keep the water away from the wood. And yeah, this is when there's log repairs to be done and the expensive, painful part, this is usually where it's at, but not this far. Usually it's when the logs are way down to ground level and they're just getting perpetual moisture. So you keep the logs dry and problems will be minimal. So yeah, having a gutter is definitely a recommended good thing that you got that taken care of. Let's see, is there anything else you have questions about around here?
When you talk about log repair, like those bigger expenses to a home, we've always talked about, there's a room in the basement that I know we've talked about adding an egress window to make it an official bedroom. How does that work with a log home? Because I assume it's a much bigger expense, much bigger project that maybe not every contractor does.
Yeah, there are log-specific contractors that get into that. So some may have dabbled with log and might be able to help you out with that. But we also have quite an extensive list of log-specific restoration contractors that know the workings of that. And so, if it's into the foundation itself, maybe the log doesn't even play a role other than just keeping it supported. But if it's into the wood, you're adding a window into log, there's maybe some structural concerns on that. So that's where it's good to talk to a log home builder, to talk to a log restoration contractor. Guys that have seen it all and done it all can help you out with that. Yep. And then again here we've got the end grain too. We've talked about that before, but as wood is designed as a package of straws that help the tree get its nutrients, funneling fluids and sugars up and down. That keeps on working even when it's dead, when it's built into a house. So protecting that end grain is good. Keep your finish intact. You can even, if you want to be particular, some people will sand that down to be a smooth surface and then saturate it with your stain, your finish, and there are even end grain coatings that you can really give it extra protection so that if you didn't have gutters or if the wind is blowing and water is hitting this, then it's got a first line of defense to just deflect that moisture so it doesn't wick its way back into that notch.
And when too much moisture gets into this wood, when do you start to see rotting? What are the warning signs for a homeowner when there might be a problem?
Yeah, that's a good question because that's one reason we don't recommend paint on logs. Part of the reason is, logs are wood and wood is beautiful and we want to see the characteristics of wood because that's, something that a lot of other materials try to replicate, but it's no better than you can get it in wood because you can see how the tree grew, you can see the characteristics of the wood. Every ring is a year of the tree's life typically. It's just really cool to see the wood. So that's one reason I don't like to paint wood. But another reason that's really important is that visual communication. If you paint wood, you cover it with a solid, you can't see what's going on underneath, and so the paint can hold moisture in there and you don't know it until it's too late. So when you have a semi-transparent stain, they may not hold, with less pigment, they may not hold as long as a solid in the sun, but they're more beautiful in my opinion. And most importantly, they give you that visual communication. So if there's something going on under the finish, if there's mildew going on, if there's water getting in there and there's moisture that's leading to an issue, you can take care of it on the early end because you can see it happening. You can see it getting darker. Sometimes you'll see darkening around the cracks because moisture got in there and it's having trouble getting out if it's not a breathable finish. So that's the most important reason to have a semi-transparent stain on your house, is just so you can see what's going on with the wood. Besides, it's beautiful. But yeah, as it gets worse and worse, if it's, time gets away from all of us, sometimes it just starts with that darkening. You lose the integrity of your finish. There's a crack maybe that's open and the moisture is getting in there. Sometimes that's deep in and you don't necessarily see it, but if it's toward the surface, you can see it starting to get darker. As it gets progressed, you can feel it's starting to get spongy. You can go around and poke at it and see if it's losing its hardness and it's getting soft. So prevention is the key. That's why it's important to have gutters, to have your wood protected from water, to have your finish intact. It can be pretty pain-free if you just stay on top of it. Every house, no matter what it's built of, has its maintenance concerns. Log homes, they often get they get a bad rap because they're high in maintenance. There's a lot you can do to make it pretty easy. Keeping the gutters clean, keeping the water out of the wood, and just staying on top of it, refinishing it in that 3 to 5 year mark on the sunny side whenever it needs it, instead of waiting 10, 20 years when it's too far gone. Now you have to strip it down. So just stay on top of it. Keep your eye open. Once a year, give it a walk around the house. Look for those low logs, for the logs that might be getting wet, and do what you can to just give it a once around, make sure all is good, or hire a contractor. There's a lot of log contractors that know what they're looking for, so you don't even have to worry about it. Just have them come out, maybe wash the home, and they know what to look for. Have them look for it and tell you if all is good or maybe it's time for another coat of stain.